As Russian forces aim their attacks further west, the U.S. expands its sanctions, banning several Russian imports.
Also, we're following the latest in the Quadron Wilson case. Why his attorney is calling drug charges against him suspicious timing.
And we're marking 2 years since world health leaders declared the coronavirus a pandemic. A closer look at how far we've come and why officials are warning we aren't in the clear just yet. You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Putin is an aggressor. He is the aggressor, and Putin must pay the price.
President Biden announcing today the U.S. will dramatically downgrade its trade status with Russia, banning Russian seafood, alcohol, and diamond imports as we reach day 16 of the war.
Meanwhile, Russia is widening its offense, striking airfields in the western part of the country. Chris Wynn tells us more major cities are being targeted.
For the first time, Russian forces are expanding their attacks in Ukraine to the western part of the country. This as fighting intensifies closer to Kyiv, the capital city, and the humanitarian crisis becomes increasingly dire and desperate. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky hitting back at widely discredited Russian disinformation, suggesting that his country is preparing a chemical attack.
Have you decided to carry out dechemicalization of Ukraine using ammonia? Using phosphorus? What else have you prepared for us? Where will you strike with chemical weapons?
The United Nations meeting Friday at the request of Moscow about its false claim the United States is developing chemical weapons in Ukraine.
We're not going to let Russia get away with lying to the world or staining the integrity of the Security Council by using this forum as a venue for legitimizing Putin's violence.
Also Friday,
we're showing our strength, and we will not falter.
President Joe Biden called for suspending normal trade relations with Russia and said the U.S. would ban imports of seafood, vodka, and diamonds from the nation as part of an overall effort to ramp up economic pressure. The measure requires an act of Congress.
We're going to hit Putin harder because the United States and our closest allies and partners are acting in unison.
In Washington, I'm Chris Wynn reporting.
Taking aim at billionaire oligarchs, the White House is also banning the export of American luxury goods to Russia, as well as imposing additional sanctions on Russian elites.
Volunteers across the U.S. and Europe are picking up the phone to call Russians. It's a project aimed at countering the Kremlin's control of state media during the war. Last week, the Russian government voted to jail anyone who publishes so-called fake news about the war or uses the word invasion when describing Russia's military action. Hashtag Call Russia is now circulating on social media, asking volunteers to call Russians to tell them what's actually happening with the war.
Call Russia could be the only option for people in Russia to get any alternative information that they used to have.
Nearly all non-state broadcasters have been shut down there. That's why founders of this initiative say it's so important to keep it going. So far, volunteers have placed more than 30,000 calls. The UN Refugee Agency says more than 2 million people have now fled Ukraine since the invasion began. Millions more are expected to leave.
Habitat for Humanity Dane County is joining a global effort to help relocate these refugees. The organization is supporting families in Hungary, Poland, Romania, and Slovakia. They have distributed hotel vouchers to hundreds of thousands of refugees so far, and the Dane County branch is also raising emergency funds to help refugees find more permanent housing.
So it is a little bit of a disaster relief effort, but it's such an extreme situation that Habitat's wanted to help immediately, as well as building long-term for the refugees when they get to where they're finally going to be.
Habitat is also planning to repurpose empty schools and factories into refugee housing. If you would like to help their efforts, visit habitatdane.org/donate, then click on Ukraine Humanitarian Response.
Boy, a really cold night ahead. Let's get a look at your certified most accurate forecast. Gary is out on the weather patio. Gary?
It's already cold out here, Eric. Temperatures have started to fall this afternoon, and they'll be quite cold for this time of year later on tonight. Visible cloud track shows a little band of clouds coming through with some flurries about midday, but you can see that band of flurries now out into Michigan and Indiana and racing to our east as the cold air pours in behind it. Low temperatures this morning were in the teens. High temperatures today in the upper 20s to around 30 degrees, but that was around lunchtime when that band of flurries and clouds came through. and temperatures now have dropped into the lower 20s in Madison, already in the teens to the north and west of Dane County, and wind chills are down to around 0 or a little bit below as you head out toward the La Crosse area. By morning, we'll be down to about 2 degrees above 0 with wind chills as cold as 15 below 0. And high temperatures tomorrow should be in the lower 20s, even though we'll have mostly sunny skies. But a big warm-up kicks in on Sunday. I'll have more on how warm it'll get for next week in just a few minutes.
All right, Gary, thank you. Suspicious timing. That's how Quadrin Wilson's attorney views the drug charges against his client, filed weeks after he was hurt in an officer-involved shooting on Madison's east side.
Investigators haven't said yet if the drug charges are why 21 officers and agents moved in to arrest Wilson that day. A lack of information that is still frustrating Wilson's family and friends. Brad Hamilton joins us in studio with more from Wilson's preliminary hearing, which was this morning.
Well, Wilson's attorney has a lot of issues with these charges. He calls the case thin, especially since prosecutors mainly are connecting Wilson to the case through a phone number and a rough description of the suspect. Witnesses describe a suspect who sold drugs that led to a deadly overdose in April of 2021 as being a light-skinned black male with green eyes. A deputy testified for more than an hour, laying out some of the evidence prosecutors have against Wilson. The court commissioner eventually ruled in the state's favor, saying there was enough evidence suggesting Wilson may have sold those drugs. Now, Wilson's attorney says he was not surprised by that decision.
I didn't think there was anything unusual. I think the state is trying to put together something because they have to react to what happened on February 3rd when Quadrin was shot. But why they waited 10 months, I can't tell you that.
There was a jarring moment during the deputy's testimony today. Wilson's brother got up, shouted, cursed, and was then escorted out. And we're going to continue to reach out daily to the Dane County Sheriff's Office for answers to many of the questions surrounding Wilson's arrest and injuries. So far, we only know the information that we've shared as well as the DCI agents' names.
A trial date has been set for the man accused of killing 6 people and injuring dozens of others after driving an SUV through a Waukesha Christmas parade. Darrell Brooks Jr. will be tried beginning October 3rd. He has pleaded not guilty to more than 70 charges for the November incident. Brooks's attorneys filed a motion last month to move the trial out of Waukesha County or pull jurors from another county because of the publicity the case has already received.
Today marks 2 years since the World Health Organization declared the coronavirus a pandemic. Back in 2020, the world faced many unknowns. In the U.S., nearly 80 million people have been infected with COVID since. More than 950,000 have died. The world experienced surge after surge from variants like the Alpha, Delta, and Omicron variants. And today, COVID cases, though declining, mask mandates are lifting, but health officials say we're not in the clear just yet.
Everybody wants to know whether there is another variant coming. And I'll tell you what, I don't know. But I will tell you that I never bet against natural selection. We shouldn't be assuming that the virus is done with us.
He says we're in a far better place than 2 years ago, but what we need to learn from this experience is that pandemics don't simply go away. He says we should be maintaining our ability to test for COVID and enhance our ability to produce new vaccines.
Local health experts say the average number of new COVID cases in Dane County has fallen to levels we haven't seen since last summer. Public Health Madison Dane County says the 14-day average has dropped to 76 cases. That is a massive decrease from just 1 month ago when new daily cases averaged around 560. The 7-day average is even lower at 65 cases. That's the lowest it has been since last July, about a month after the Delta variant was first detected. Hospitalizations and deaths are also decreasing. Despite cases decreasing and restrictions loosening, there are still millions of Americans with compromised immune systems who are very vulnerable to COVID. Dr. Jenna Smith from UW Health says those individuals could become seriously sick or die if they contract the virus. She says some are not able to create proper antibodies to protect against infection, and a small act like wearing a mask in public can go a long way.
I think when we place in context that members of our community are part of the broader human family, that wearing a mask in a grocery store may actually save someone's life, you know, and reflecting on how you would feel if that was you or your family may actually change behavior.
The American Medical Association says about 7 million people are immunocompromised in the U.S. This includes people who have had organ transplants, cancer, and diabetes, among other autoimmune diseases.
Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes hit the campaign trail today. Barnes running for U.S. Senate, met with farmers, small business owners, and students in Beloit. He said small businesses are the backbone of the state's economy, and we need to keep them strong in order to thrive in this state. Also said many small businesses are still suffering from the effects of the pandemic, a problem he hopes to fix if elected.
People have been disproportionately impacted because of that, because they haven't had the funds or the rainy day savings to help them navigate this the pandemic. And if we're truly going to rebound, it won't happen unless we have strong small businesses.
Barnes looking to win the Senate seat currently held by Republican U.S. Senator Ron Johnson.
Now to Missouri, where a semi-truck dropped 30 feet off a bridge before exploding. The truck was transporting plastic bottle caps when it crashed near an on-ramp in St. Louis. The semi then tipped over, falling off the bridge and exploding on impact. Somehow, both the passenger and the semi-driver survived, but they were taken to a hospital for serious injuries. Police say slippery road conditions from overnight snow may have caused the crash. A Florida 7-year-old was detained by police for bringing a gun to school. This morning, Fort Lauderdale police say staff at Dillard Elementary School received information that a student had a gun on campus. A staff member was able to speak to the child and locate the handgun. The weapon was secured and the child was detained by police. Police are investigating how that child got the gun.
Rallying against racism. That's why one Maryland community gathered outside a middle school today after 3 students were charged with a hate crime. Police say the 8th graders posted hate speech and racist photos on multiple social media outlets threatening to kill black students. Those students are not in school right now, and officials are still investigating. The incident isn't the first social media threat Frederick County has faced in the past year.
I can't stress enough to parents, pay attention to what your kids are doing on social media, on cell phones, on the devices.
Police are calling on the school board to consider banning or at least heavily restricting cell phones in schools. Next at 5, looking forward to your tax refund? Well, you might have to wait.
Why the IRS says some refunds may be delayed this year. That's coming up after the break. And later, as gas prices soar, Clark County police are searching for a gas thief. How his actions caused $1,500 in damage. That's coming up at 6.
And on Wall Street, another week of losses comes to an end with the Dow losing 230 more. The NASDAQ tumbles 286. S&P down 55. We'll be right back.
Create your perfect room for relaxing, entertaining, and more with patio enclosures. Right now, get up to $6,500 off your sunroom. Plus, enjoy exceptional financing. Call today. Patio Enclosures.
You're a hard worker. Provide for your family. Do good things in the community. Help out your neighbors. You've been there for so many others. Now, we're here for you. Your local Wisconsin energy and emergency assistance providers are working together to keep you safely in your home and your heat and power on. Apply now for a hand up.
There's a reason big dental bills often come as a shock, because sometimes you don't realize what's not covered until you get the bill. That's why affordable dental insurance from Physicians Mutual is important. It can give you benefits that go beyond what you get from more limited coverage plans. Because no one likes a big dental bill, especially if you're retired or on a fixed income. For a free information kit, call or go online now. This isn't some discount plan or preventive-only coverage. This is real dental insurance that helps cover over 350 procedures, like cleanings, fillings, crowns, bridges, root canals, even dentures, at any dentist you want. Dental insurance from Physicians Mutual Insurance Company helps cover preventive care, basic work, and major procedures, with no deductibles and no annual maximum. For your free information kit with all the details, call now or visit sendinfokit.com.
Physicians Mutual, Physicians Mutual.
Since 1934, Steinhoffels has been helping families create the homes of their dreams with the largest selection of quality furniture and mattresses. Steinhoffels always has the best brands at the guaranteed lowest prices. And during Steinhoffels' Best Brands, Best Prices sale, you'll take 35% off the largest selection of in-stock name brand furniture and mattresses. We have something for every style and every budget. It's the best brands, best prices sale at Steinhafels. Relax, it's Steinhafels.
Create your perfect room for relaxing, entertaining, and more with patio enclosures. Right now, get up to $6,500 off your sunroom. Plus, enjoy exceptional financing. Call today. Patio Enclosures.
Tonight at 6, the man accused of driving an SUV through a Christmas parade in Waukesha appeared in court today. Hear his plea. Plus, a local nonprofit wants to line up housing for Ukrainian refugees. How you can help at 6.
News 3 Now's Call for Action team advocates for you, asking the right questions.
Yeah. You hope to make that right.
And getting results.
They sent a water heater the next day after you made the call.
Call for Action, only on News 3 Now.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Kevin Spacey's sexual assault trial is expected to begin October 4th. Spacey being sued by a man who accuses him of sexually assaulting him when he was a minor. The plaintiff says he met Spacey while performing on Broadway in 1986 when he was 14 years old. He claims Spacey invited him to a party at his home where he allegedly groped him in a sexual manner. Spacey offered an apology for what he says, quote, would have been deeply inappropriate drunken behavior.
With prices rising on everything, many people are looking forward to their tax refunds.
But this year, the IRS may make you wait. Deborah Alfarone shows us how the tax agency is trying to reduce a backlog.
Tax season is here. The deadline for filing is little more than a month away, but what's less clear is when you may receive your refund.
I literally had like reminders on my calendar and everything to remind me, obviously, to file soon so I could get my refunds.
The IRS is struggling through a backlog of more than 20 million tax returns and other correspondence. Now with tax day looming, the agency says it's planning to hire 10,000 new employees. Job fairs are scheduled at processing centers in Ogden, Utah, Austin, Texas, and Kansas City, Missouri in the next 2 weeks, where people will be hired on the spot. No tax experience necessary. Bottom line, says Bankrate's Ted Rossman, the IRS is understaffed.
They say that their workforce is the same size now as it was in 1970, and yet the U.S. population has grown 60%.
The IRS backlog means you may have to wait a little bit longer to get your refund, and for many families, this is their biggest windfall of the year, especially with inflation the way it is right now. It's taking a bigger bite out of people's paychecks. A recent survey found the top uses for those tax refunds: saving the money, paying down debt, and using it for day-to-day expenses.
I spend some on things that I've been wanting to revamp in my home. And then the other part, I like to take a vacation.
So what should the average tax filer do?
File electronically, for one. Paper should really be a no-go this year.
The IRS says filing electronically could cut the waiting time for your refund to weeks rather than months. Tax day is April 18th. Deborah Alfarone, CBS News, Washington.
The IRS has also struggled to answer taxpayer phone calls. Out of 282 million calls last year, agents were only able to answer about 11%.
Rent hikes are a major part of the inflation we're seeing as leases come up for renewal. The annual inflation rate is at a 40-year high, almost 8% last month. Housing costs have increased nearly 5%, the biggest yearly jump since 1991. Nationwide, rents have soared nearly 20% year over year, but in places like South Florida, they're up nearly 50%.
We're looking at almost $1,000 in an increase. Previously I got, 5%, 6%, I think, increases, things that you could kind of prepare for.
Sure, but $1,000.
It's impossible to prepare for.
Florida has no rent control, and demand is far greater than supply. Houses for sale are also hard to come by, with prices reaching record highs.
Let's get a look at your certified most accurate weather. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti has our forecast. Gary.
Boy, just when you think it can't get any colder, it does. 3 things you need to know in the forecast. Look for one more cold day tomorrow. That's after a night where we could see temperatures close to 0 and wind chills down to about 15 below 0. Highs tomorrow only in the lower 20s when we should be up in the lower 40s. But after some snow showers and flurries move move through tomorrow night along a warm front, those temperatures take off. We're windy with high temperatures around 50 on Sunday, and it'll be even milder as we head into the middle part of next week. The band of flurries that came through about lunchtime today has now already raced out into parts of Michigan and Indiana, so that's really clipping along, and that's the cold air just kind of pouring in behind it. Snow on the ground still, you know, it's not a thick snow cover, but there's enough snow that it's keeping temperatures cold. The thicker snow cover is farther up to the north and also to our south as well, across parts of central Illinois into central portions of Missouri. Now that will start to diminish pretty quickly over the next couple of days as temperatures warm up, but at least for the time being, it's keeping temperatures cold. Last night, temperatures were below freezing all the way south of the Ohio River and were below zero over parts of the Rockies into the northern plains, much of North Dakota, parts of eastern portions of Montana were between about 5 and 10 below zero. And tonight, there are wind chill advisories in effect for parts of northern Wisconsin, northern Minnesota, and into North Dakota, where wind chills could drop to 25 to 35 degrees below zero. Also, winter weather advisories for brisk winds that'll cause near whiteout conditions and blowing snow up in Minnesota. But to our south and east, more snow, even some freezing rain. Winter weather advisories and winter storm warnings in effect from the southern plains all the way up into New England from weather system that's passed to our south. But things are starting to change. You look out in the Pacific Ocean. This is weather track. Notice the main branch of the jet stream, the polar jet stream, starting to push farther to the north. A little branch of the subtropical jet stream dropping off to the south, but it's not as energetic as it used to be. So this is keeping the moisture away from us. The polar jet stream pushing to the north starts to bring mild Pacific air eastward. So what this ends up giving us is generally a milder and drier weather pattern. The subtropical jet stream keeping the moisture to the south. The polar jet stream pushing up to the north starts to bring in the mild air, but we have to wait a couple days to get there. Right now, that polar jet stream still coming in out of central Canada, funneling the cold air into our part of the Midwest. That cold front and the flurries that came through now off to the east of us, so that shot of cold air now coming in full force. Temperatures already in the teens to our north and west in single digits over parts of Minnesota, and these are wind chills right now, down to about 15 below zero over much of northern Minnesota and below zero as far south as La Crosse. So for tomorrow, look for a mostly sunny day after a low temperature of about 2 above and wind chills down to 15 below zero. High tomorrow at 23, but we're up to 49 on Sunday after those snow showers pass through, and then temperatures should be around 50 or even close to 60 for the middle part of the week. There will be some rain shower chances about Friday, but not a lot of rain, and then temperatures start to warm up again as we head into the start of the following week. As we check out first warn traffic right now, seeing some delays on the belt line. This is the view of the belt line at Park Street, and you can see traffic moving steadily but slowly in each direction. Right now, delays on the eastbound belt line from around Monona Drive all the way back to Verona Road. Westbound, we're seeing delays as you move into the sun around Fish Hatchery Road. Right now, it's a 26-minute trip on the eastbound belt line between University Avenue and the interstate, 18 minutes going back in the westbound direction. No problems on I-3990 from the belt line southward to Janesville, Middleton to Sauk City on US 12, a quick 16-minute trip, and downtown to Sun Prairie, East Washington Avenue, US 151, about 17 minutes. That's your News 3 Now First Warn traffic.
Don't forget to turn your clocks ahead Saturday night before you go to sleep. A closer look at how daylight saving affects your sleep schedule. That's next at 5.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
We're USA Insulation, and our premium injection foam turns your cold and drafty house into a warm and toasty home. Call now and save $500 on whole home insulation.
USA Insulation.
My daughter has type 2 diabetes, and lately, I've seen this change in her.
Once-weekly Trulicity is proven to help lower A1C. It lowers blood sugar from the first dose, and you could lose up to 10 pounds. Trulicity is for type 2 diabetes. It isn't for people with type 1 diabetes. It's not approved for use in children. Don't take Trulicity if you're allergic to it. You or your family have medullary thyroid cancer or have multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2. Stop Trulicity and call your doctor right away if you have an allergic reaction, a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, changes in vision, or diabetic retinopathy. Serious side effects may include pancreatitis. Taking Trulicity with sulfonylurea or insulin raises low blood sugar risk. Side effects include nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea, which can lead to dehydration and may worsen kidney problems. Ask your doctor about once-weekly Trulicity.
At Vanguard, you're more than just an investor. You're an owner. With access to financial advice, tools, and a personalized plan that helps you build a future for those you love. Vanguard. Become an owner.
Save big money with 11% off everything at Menards. Give any room a fresh look with the beauty and durability of tile from Mohawk. Mohawk features over 350 ceramic, porcelain, mosaic, and glass tiles. All Mohawk tiles are 11% off. Complete your tiling job with professional quality installation products from Tack. Menards carries Tack mortar and grout to work with all floor and wall tile sizes. Get 11% off Tack products at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Senator Ron Johnson, you know, when I lost my husband, he made sure he reached out to me. He made sure I had everything that I need, and still, you know, pick up the phone and call me if you need anything. He always says that a lot of people say things when they don't know. I said, I just wish people knew you like I knew you. So the best advice I could ever give a person is, before you listen to what somebody else has to say, please get to know a person for yourself.
I'm Ron Johnson, and I approve this message.
Dylan, how's that sofa you can't return from that big internet site?
Honestly, not that great.
Well, Slumberland can help. It's our biggest finance sales event of the year. Just $20 a month will get you a gorgeous sectional, a 3-piece bedroom group, when you spend $1,200 and pay no interest for 5 years.
No way.
How about kicking back in this luxury leather power recliner for just $25 a month? And come to Slumberland Sleep Solutions, where we've reinvented mattress shopping.
We're USA Insulation, and our premium injection foam turns your cold and drafty house into a warm and toasty home. Call now and save $500 on whole home insulation.
USA Insulation.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Welcome back. Daylight saving is Sunday, marking another step closer to spring.
Mandy Gaither explains how the time change affects you and your sleep.
It's that time of year again, and if springing forward takes a little pep out of your step, you're not alone.
The inside clock, the clock inside our brain that regulates sleep and wakefulness, is typically a very reliable, periodic process. And having just 1 hour shift can actually affect us pretty significantly.
Dr. Nancy Fulvery is a sleep specialist at Cleveland Clinic. She says the time change can affect your body, making you more vulnerable to stroke or heart attacks. Being sleepy can also cause you to be less alert when driving.
All of us have our own vulnerability to circadian rhythm changes, and some of us can manage in very difficult situations when our sleep structure changes and adapt well, and others cannot.
To help your body adapt, Fulvery says to plan ahead. Make sure your body is getting the rest it needs every day, and make sure you don't put anything into your body that might mess with your sleep. Drinking alcohol or caffeine before bed or eating a big meal late at night may make you miss out on those Z's.
We all know how much sleep we need.
If your sleep troubles last longer than a couple of months, it's time to see a doctor. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The CDC says adults need 7 or more hours of sleep every night for the best health and well-being. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Everyone's a winner at Ashley's Lucky Streak Mattress Sale. Our warehouse is packed with millions of dollars of inventory ready to be delivered. Save up to $1,000 instantly on mattress doorbusters. Plus, interest-free financing for 5 years. Only at Ashley, Wisconsin's #1 mattress retailer.
Has the winter taken a toll on your roof? Call Feldco today and get free installation on your roofing project. Plus, no interest until 2023.
Ah, fresh coffee. Hurry, free installation and soon. Call now.
Call 866 for Feldco.
Your mission, stand up to moderate to severe rheumatoid arthritis and take it on with Rinvoq. Rinvoq, a once-daily pill, can dramatically improve symptoms. Rinvoq helps tame pain, stiffness, swelling, and for some, Rinvoq can even significantly reduce RA fatigue. That's Rinvoq relief. With RA, your overactive immune system attacks your joints. Rinvoq regulates it to help stop the attack.
Rinvoq can lower your ability to fight infections, including TB, serious infections and blood clots, some fatal, cancers, including lymphoma and skin cancer, death, heart attack, stroke, and tears in the stomach or intestines occurred. People 50 and older with at least one heart disease risk factor have higher risks. Don't take if allergic to Rinvoq, as serious reactions can occur. Tell your doctor if you are or may become pregnant.
Talk to your rheumatologist about Rinvoq Relief. Rinvoq, make it your mission. Learn how AbbVie could help you save on Rinvoq.
What do a 20-ounce Coca-Cola and a Quick Trip take-home meal have in common? You know, besides that they're both delicious. They earn you chances to win a brand new Chevy Tahoe in our Coca-Cola Scratch Game. They play the Scratch Game in your Quick Rewards app, and you can win a Chevy Tahoe or other great prizes. Play for free daily in your Quick Rewards app, or purchase any Quick Trip take-home meal, 20-ounce Coca-Cola, or Smart Water to receive even more chances to play and win. Play the Coca-Cola Scratch Game today, and you can eat, drink, and scratch your way behind the wheel of a new Chevy Tahoe.
Some numbers are thrilling, some impressive, some just right. After an accident, there's one critical number. The number that helps you get your life back by factoring in your needs for today and tomorrow. That's where Habish and Rotier's numbers really add up. With over 90 years of client successes and 13 offices to help you wherever you are. No other personal injury law firm is better suited to get the amount that's right for you.
Feeling lucky? Everyone's a winner at Ashley's Lucky Streak Sale. We have millions of dollars of inventory in stock with savings up to 50% off. And get your scratch-off card in store for up to an extra 15% off. Plus 0% interest until 2023. Only at Ashley.
Temperatures are already below 20 degrees to our north and west, and wind chills are dropping to below 0 across our northwestern viewing area. Look for a low tonight of 2 with wind chills to 15 below 0. High tomorrow, only 23.
All right, CBS Evening News is next. We're back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6.